So, all right, so we did a DraftKings lineup. We picked back and forth. Obviously, had to make sure we were in the 50,000 salary cap. We'll obviously go through the rest of our picks: a favorite, a sleeper to win, a mortal lock top 20, and then a guy we think is going to miss the cut.
Yep.
That's kind of where we're going. So I think to start, we'll do the DraftKings lineup. You wanted second and third, so I got the first pick. And I took a guy who on the first podcast I said I'm not going to ride for this guy anymore, but like now I'm jumping back in on him, just like everyone else probably is at this point. But I drafted Will Zalatoris first pick. He was $9,300 on DraftKings. His major record speaks for itself. He's played in 8 majors. He has a withdraw, a miscut, which was like before he was well known. It was back in 2018, so I don't count the withdraw and that miscut. So he's played in 6 real majors, 1 missed cut, 5 top 10s. So you gotta like the track record.
I mean, you should put him in like maybe your top 20. Oh, I guess we'll get to that point.
Yeah, let's relax on that.
Well, all right. So you're DraftKings.
But this is DraftKings. I'm just giving you my thoughts. So
I lost my train of thought.
So I took Will Zalatoris. I mean, I guess the cat's out of the bag here. If you really want me to go in, I did choose him to be my mortal lock top 20 pick.
All right, that's fair.
At plus 130. Yeah. So I'm like, I mean, the guy has had 5 top 10s in majors and a missed cut. Like, if he makes a cut, he's going to be there. So.
Yeah. All right, ready? My first pick, I guess you have to be ready because you already picked.
Yeah.
My first pick was Justin Thomas, value of $10,900. Look, last time he played an event, I believe he got a top 5 or top 10 finish before Southern Hills and ended up winning the PGA Championship at Southern Hills. So, again, he did the same thing, top 3 this past week. We even said on the podcast last week, it could be a bad omen if you get a win before a major. So he didn't do that, which bodes well for him. So I'm going Justin Thomas, go back-to-back major champions. We haven't seen that in quite some time, so I think we're due.
Now, the interesting thing, your next pick is a guy who did win in his most recent start.
Correct. And my next pick is Billy Horschel. But now I'm a little bit worried because I saw a video come out from the guys over at Barstool, 4Play Pods there this week, and Billy Horschel came up to him and started talking to him and like showed him his finger. He smashed his finger on his boat on like Friday night. And it's all purple and bruised up, and he was like, yeah, the nail's probably going to fall off. And he was like,
I can relate to that. It's not easy to play with.
Yeah. Seen you do it firsthand. But he says it's going to be fine. It's not really bugging. He said he hit some balls, but he said he couldn't hit balls for a couple of days. So I was like, as much as someone says it doesn't bother them, you've done it personally. I've watched you do it in the men's club championship. That's got to bug you. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, right when it happened, it was really hard. Now, that was on my pinky. I don't know what finger was it.
Yeah, I think it was his middle finger.
Okay, so that's probably worse than the pinky. The pinky, and it was my right hand. It does not involve much. But the next day, it was definitely hard. It took like 15, I mean, I would say not 15, maybe the front 9 to really get used to it, and then the back 9 I started like swinging again. Now I'm curious if like the next day would I do the same thing? So I don't like, would it need 9 holes to warm up again?
Right.
But yeah, it doesn't feel good. I mean, and it's your middle finger, and was it his left or his right?
I believe it was his right hand.
So I'm just.
Either way,
like
that. Either way, that finger's on the club.
Yeah, either way. I still like the pick.
Yeah.
So
hot hand. I'm riding a hot hand.
Exactly.
There.
And we talk about when he gets streaky, he gets freaking streaky.
Right. And he's never had a major. Like I said, it could be one of the interesting stories.
And it's
in golf.
shorter one. He's not. I don't think he's super long.
No.
So.
Good ball striker though.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. My next 2 picks. I took the Irishman. I think I talked about him after the PGA. Shane Lowry. I think he's a guy who's going to end his career with 2 majors.
How do you not love Shane Lowry?
Exactly. And everyone loves to talk about his short game because he's like this Irish guy who plays in links, and he obviously knows that, but he's actually hitting the ball better than he ever has right now. And so talking about ball striking guys, like he's a guy who he's not going to go win a tournament at 20 under like I talked about with Will Zalatoris. He's going to win a closer tournament. And I think he'll look back. I mean, he had the good finish at the Masters, but he didn't win. And he played the PGA, he got like 20, mid-20s, but he was never in contention. I think he's going to have a little chip on his shoulder, pissed off, and I don't think he's going to be leading after the first round, but I sure as hell tell you I think he'll be in the top 10 at the end of the week. I like him. Now, I'm going to convince myself that there's 30 guys who are going to be in the top 10.
I do like that, like from bouncing back to, the greatest game ever played, Ted Ray, big burly Englishman that, like to drink and have a good time. Shane Lowry, kind of that same build. So,
and you want to know another fun fact about Shane Lowry relating to the greatest game ever played? Last amateur to win a major event on a major tour, Shane Lowry.
There you go.
So just note that.
Little nugget.
I
for
feel
you
like I have to
all
like
out there.
research just to validate that that's the case, which I'll do when you go through your picks in a sec. But I'm like 90.
You got me convinced just the way you said it.
My third pick, I wanted to go a little cheaper. So Shane Lowry was 9,000. So I was like, all right, now I got to get a little cheaper. I want to take this guy before you. To go along with my ball striking theme, Corey Connors, the low Canuck at the Canadian Open. He's had a pretty good major record. He'd missed the cut at the PGA. But again, I just think the way he strikes the golf ball, and he's starting to get back into form after kind of a mediocre week at the PGA. I like him. And he's had a good major record in the most, last couple of years. So look out for him. He did play in the USAM at Brookline in 2013. And I think came in, he was a semifinalist.
Mm-hmm.
Not that really matters whatsoever because the course is different. But I definitely like Corey Connors, $7,900. I think it's a nice value at that price.
Yeah, I like that. All right, my next two picks. I was going to actually go with the Canadian too, just because of the, just coming off of that week. But I think those guys were maybe kind of riding a high of the high. But my next two picks are Tony Finau, 8,200. Again, guy that's been playing good golf. He always seems at a lot of these big tournaments. He seems to show up. Now, can he win one of them? That's kind of been the story of his career right there. But I do think there's a chance he at least plays well. He played well this last week. He finished off 18 with nasty little snake birdie to get himself solo
that putt
second.
took 30 seconds to go.
Yeah, I know.
When he hit it.
It was awesome. But again, another guy that did not win the week before. So I'm going to kind of ride that hand, and hopefully he can maybe get one done. I think everybody in the world would love to see Tony Finau win a major.
Mm-hmm. I would agree.
And why not better at the U.S. Open? Mm-hmm. Next pick. I kind of picked this guy. I feel like I picked this guy every major, but just one of the purest golf swings, I think, on the PGA Tour as the last couple of years is Sungjae Im, the Korean. I don't know, like wasn't he in contention at... He was either in contention at the Masters or the PGA Championship.
I don't think he's had a really good major record this year.
I swear he was competing in something. Maybe the Players?
I'm looking it up.
All right,
real quick.
Sam's pulling up for me. But
he got TA at the Masters this year.
Yeah, so I thought he was like after the first or second round or second or third round, he was at least up there in the top 5. So
yeah, why didn't he play at the PGA this year? I'm surprised.
Oh, did it say he didn't play?
No.
Huh.
I mean, he must have. Oh, you know what? He had a positive COVID test.
Oh, yeah.
That was it. That's why he didn't play. So, okay, tied 8. So, what the fuck do I know?
Yeah, I mean, there we go. I'm riding.
Because I was about to start ripping on, like, what kind of pick is this? He hasn't been playing well.
So, I'm riding with my boy, Sungjae.
Okay. Can I get a Hung Jae? One, before we get into anything, Shane Lowry did win the 2009 Irish Open as an amateur, defeating Robert Rock on a third playoff hole.
What a name.
So, he also has a great head of hair, Robert Rock, if you want to look that up.
I'll have to look that one up.
He's a silver fox. All right.
People call me a silver fox.
So I talked about Corey Connors and his history at the Country Club in 2013. Going to another guy who has some history, winning the U.S. Amateur in 2013 at the Country Club. Again, how much does that matter? Probably not, because it was 10 years ago. But Matt Fitzpatrick doesn't have a PGA Tour win. He's 8,500 on DraftKings. Another guy who I kind of thought, like, let's get guys who really like to play at low-score golf courses. And Matt Fitzpatrick, just to give you a rundown of his major record this year, T38 at the Masters. Excuse me, wrong end. That was 2018. T14 at the Masters. T5 at the PGA. I just like where his game's at. He's kind of like a top 20 machine. I think he's a valuable pick. Ball striking better than he has in his entire career. Not that he's like a great ball striker by any means. So I really liked him there. And then I took Sam Burns at 8,300. So I really kind of have 5 guys congested from 7,900 to 93, which is a little different.
Yeah.
None of the horses. But I took Sam Burns. I just think he's a really good player. And
he's playing some of the best golf he ever has.
Yeah. He's young. He's at some point going to start turning this into like contention in majors. And I want to be there for it. So I was kind of like good value, good player. I think he's like, according to Data Golf, like one of the top 10 players in the world, which is strictly true strokes gained. So I'm going off.
You're living and dying by your boy Sam Burns, and I love it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm totally here for that.
The vanilla.
All right. My final 2 picks. So Davis Riley, again, another guy that I've talked about a few times on this podcast, who I think again don't know if he can necessarily win it for his first ever career win, but what a story that he's been competing all year long. And then a name that I felt like pretty good that you kind of already hinted at is, talk about the Olympia Club. Of course, that wasn't terribly long when he won his U.S. Open, but I'm going with Webb Simpson. The weird swinging Webb Simpson.
He does, and he loves his hybrids, you know. He did. I don't know if he still does anymore.
If I could hit my hybrid like the way he hits his,
yeah.
I'd take it.
It comes so soft.
Yeah.
All right, so to wrap it up, I had 7,000 kind of strapped here. It's like, okay, who do I think could have some sort of equity and contention and stuff like that? So I went with Cockbite. That's his nickname from when he was a Georgia Bulldog, the lefty, Brian Harmon. He was competitive at Aaron Hills. He's like been somewhat competitive in majors through the years, and I was like, all right, that's a cheap guy at 7,000. I'll take a flyer on him.
Yeah, but a small guy, not a big guy by any means. But one of the coolest things I think I've ever 2 hole-in-ones in the same round on a PGA Tour event.
Yeah,
that was
pretty
probably
impressive.
4 or 5 years ago now. But that was I was like, I don't even have one yet, and this guy did it in the matter of like 10 holes.
14. Yeah, exactly. So. We'll see who wins. I guess we forgot to say the winner of that, we did a bet. Whoever wins. So we did a head-to-head matchup on DraftKings. We'll post it and stuff when the results are. But the loser will go play 18 holes, has to wear the outfit of the winner's choice. The winner gets to choose whatever they wear. The good news is we're both, I think, similar sizes. I'm a little fatter than you, so you might be wearing some baggy clothes. But I got some weird colored stuff that you might get stuck with, and we'll have some fun with it.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
That's assuming I win. I probably won't.
Yeah, I mean, but you're kind of a numbers degenerate, so I don't like my chances, to be completely honest. But
my DraftKings stuff sucks.
I've only won like one big DraftKings thing one time, and I've been playing with that house money for like 6 years.
That's one more than me, so how much did you win?
I won like $600 in DraftKings. It was like my buddy, my buddy Tim just won like 12 grand.
Yeah, that's what keeps me coming back.
Yeah, stories like that.
Yep,
and it's closely related. So
we'll post and
maybe I'll do a cool graphic.